Hello, I am Dr.Natrell. What brings you in today? What's up, guys? Welcome back to another great video. Today, I would like to be going over the Spurs versus the Knicks NBA Finals Game 2. Now, last night, wasn't really that much of a good game. I won't lie to you. After the halftime, I stopped taking my notes as I usually do. Somewhat. It's not a lot of notes as yesterday, but the game wasn't really much until the end of the game when the Spurs went on that run, and obviously what happened then. We'll get into that. But as always, hope you guys are having a great day. If you could like, subscribe, comment, and please share this video. As you always know, we like to run down with the quarter analysis, breaking down what I thought was significant in each quarter that led up to obviously the end of the game, as well as a few extra things that I want to get over. Just giving players some praises and some players the opposite. So in the first quarter, the Knicks started off using Karl-Anthony Towns to guard Wemby again, which was leading to a great run for the Knicks. They were scoring efficiently. People were getting to the basket pretty well. There were some open threes that were being made by the Knicks. Just smart stuff like that. But what's different this time was the Knicks started putting Josh Hart on Stephon Castle, which they didn't do at all in the first game. And I believe that setup is so they could draw him as far away from Wemby as possible. For Josh Hart in the first quarter, Josh Hart, terrible to say the least, man. Hate to see this. He had a great game in game one, but it looked like he was undisciplined this game. Just early fouls. He had 2 fouls and a turnover in the first quarter alone. He had to get benched obviously because he wasn't doing anything. He had I think he had 1 or 2 threes in the first quarter that he missed. But yeah, I mean, you don't expect much from Josh Hart. However, I think he still was good for when we get to the stats. He was rebounding as well as he could in the minutes that he was given. He was also dishing the ball out, getting many assists, which we'll get into later. And, Brunson actually started off very hot in the first quarter. He had 8 points, leading the Knicks until Big Purr made himself known, being aggressive, destroying Wemby offense and defensively. Cat, I want to give him his flowers at the end of this video, man. He deserves it. That's what I want to get into, him and then like Wemby. But yeah, so Cat was looking great in the first quarter. He was everywhere, flying across the court, defense, offense, scoring, shooting threes, getting past Wemby, getting to the cup, just being aggressive, man. Just being what Big Purr is not known for. His name isn't only Big Purr because his name is Cat. I'll leave it at that, man. So, and the Knicks go down obviously because the Spurs thought, how about we immediately switch into Josh Hart, because Cat is giving us rounds and we're just not doing what was working in the first game. They switch into Josh Hart and obviously they get the lead. They had a pretty big lead, which then leads us to talking about how Luke Kornet subbed in. And I emphasized last video that if Luke Kornet's in, they need to really pound the paint, and take advantage of the switches and things of that nature. The Knicks, however, could not take advantage of that, and that led to the Spurs going on a massive run as the Spurs finished the quarter shooting 63% from the field and having 12 of their 24 points being in the paint. Just a testament to how athletic their guards are. It was guards getting in there, not really Wemby much. We had another stinker today. It's a weird series for Wemby, to say the least. De'Aaron Fox was popping in the first quarter, going on his own solo run. Wemby was quiet in the first quarter, and I found something very hilarious as to the Knicks stepped out of bounds 3 times in 1 quarter. At first, they started to double team Brunson straight off the rip. And full court press him, which caused Brunson stepped out of bounds, Deuce McBride stepped out of bounds, and if I'm not mistaken, Josh Hart stepped out of bounds. Also, the Spurs are allowed to play differently than a lot of teams. They will push you, they will shove you, they will tug on a jersey. I've been saying that the whole playoffs. It is what it is at this point. They're not going to call it. Now I would like to get into the second quarter of my analysis, and this one will be a lot quicker because I rearranged how I am doing these notes. So, Jose Alvarado gets subbed in, and he takes 2 terrible shots. One was a breakaway 3, which, granted, Wemby was in the paint already. He beat him down there, which is fine. And no one else was running back, so that 3 ball isn't as crazy. It's just, you could be patient. There's 20 seconds left on the clock. You don't need to take a 3. So he misses that. He took this crazy layup as Wemby is right. You see where this chair is right here? Wemby is this close to him, and he even looks back. It's like he knew Wemby was behind it, and I guess he was trying to get a goaltend, Because why else would, like, Jose Alvarado, you're like 5'8". Like, what are you doing? Other than those two shots were terrible, but his overall game I thought was actually pretty good. I thought he was really good coming out the bench for them, especially when Brunson was terrible, to say the least. By this point, Cat is killing it. He has 12 points already for the big fella. Knicks are going on a 7-0 run. By this point, it is the middle of the second quarter, and Wemby has 5 points, and then Josh Hart ends up getting a flagrant as well. This Josh Hart game isn't one that he will like to remember. I want to talk about this also. The Spurs love to get hot in the first quarter. One thing I realized. But then after the first quarter, if you can stay close with them, you have a really good chance of taking the lead early in the late in the second, or early in the third, because they just forget how to score. First quarter, they're shooting 63% from the field, lights out. Everybody's making their shots, and then in the second quarter, they're 1 of 7. Immediately from the 3. They can't do anything right. They were 4-20 the entire quarter. And it's like, what happened? What happened? Like, I don't like they have so many good players. It's just baffling to me how that switch can flip. By this point, the Knicks have already taken the lead. To take the lead, Cat has a wide open 3. So the third quarter happens, and the Knicks expand their lead to 10, go on a great little run. I also want to mention this. The Knicks had their first free throw in the third quarter. Mind you, that free throw had to be challenged. So they weren't even, to the refs, that wasn't even a free throw. This game was, I believe, started at 8:30, which really means it started at 8:45. And it went off at 11:36. That is a 3-hour game. The amount of calls and the amount of times they stopped the game because of nothing, literally simple calls, simple non-calls, favoritism for the Spurs. The refs for this entire playoff series have been favoring the Spurs, and I've been saying it, I've been telling my friends about it, and they act like it's brand new when it happens to the Knicks. Like, no, this has been happening the entire series. The only reason you haven't realized that is because you are biased and you wanted to see the Spurs in the finals, and now that they're in the finals and are shitting the bed and are getting embarrassed by the Knicks, you are realizing that these guys are dirty. They will hold your jersey, where everybody is now realizing that this team who they've been rooting for isn't a clean team. Like, I don't get that. The Revs, the league, they want them to win. So many just weird calls this game, man. And this is where the game was still close by then. I was getting nervous. Cat with 4 fouls in the middle of the third quarter, and the Spurs made it a 4-point game, and that's after Cat was pulled. Cat was the best player in this game for the Knicks. I think he's the best player in the game, actually. Cat was the best player in this game. The aggressiveness, the offense, the defense. Cat, I'm going to get to him. I'll get to him. But Bridges, man, Bridges in the third quarter, it was his, keeping them with the lead. Bridges had 20 points tonight, but he had 9 in the third quarter, man. Keeping them alive, keeping them fighting, man. That's what 5 first-round picks get, man. The fourth quarter was crazy. I only have stuff from like the halfway of it, because the beginning of the fourth quarter was like a blowout, and then the Spurs go on a 7-0 run. Knicks can't make shit, mostly because Jalen Brunson is just chucking the ball. 7-0 run for the Spurs, and Josh Hart, with 8 minutes left, he gets his 5th foul. I don't know what Josh Hart was doing this game. He had 5 fouls in this game. So many turnovers, silly mistakes, flagrant foul. It's just wasn't his night. And that's to say the least. And Spurs going on a 9-0 run to make it a 5-point game. Brunson is tripping. Brunson is the reason they were really going this run. Brunson kept trying to be the hero. You know how I said last video how I like that? I still like it to an extent. But when you were losing them the game, like Brunson, you were winning them the game last time. Brunson is actively giving the Spurs free possessions because he keeps trying to take contested bank shot layups from 30 feet away. He's trying to shoot deep threes contested. He's just not being smart with the possessions they are getting, and that quickly turns to a 9-0 run, to a 12-0 run, to a 14-0 run. Mind you, the Knicks went 0 of 3 in that span, where Jalen Brunson is mostly shooting the ball. Again, contested mid-ranges, threes, and that little bank shot layup was not banking. Off the backboard, just right into Wemby's hands for a free rebound. Go on to that. Wemby, at this point, has 22 points in the second half. The fakest 22 points I've seen ever in my life. Brunson had got free throws, right? And he makes the first one, which makes it a 1-point game. This Negro misses the second free throw. I was like, oh yeah, Brunson's trying to get them to lose. He said he needs a game 5. Brunson said he don't want to end this shit in 4. He's trying to make it a game 5. Thank the Lord that Mitch Johnson and Wemby had other plans, because the next possession was a pass to Stephon Castle. They try to do the switch, try to get Mikal on him. Mikal stays on Castle like he should. Wemby has Mitchell Robinson in space. Tries to get the deep mid-range shot, because I guess he forgot he's 8 feet tall again. I don't get what his fascination is with these ridiculous shots. I really try to understand the hype on Wemby. I just can't. Like, I don't get how you have 8 seconds on the clock. There's 8 seconds on the clock, by the way. This isn't like a late play that he got messed up. There's 8 seconds when they put the ball in Castle's hands. Castle passes it to Wemby with the switch. There's 6 seconds left by this time. Wemby holds the ball for a little bit, waste clock. Everybody does that. But he's at the top of the key, or he's at the right wing of the three-point line. At no point are we worried about you shooting no threes, right? So it's obvious that you're wasting clock to do a mid-range shot. And I applaud Mitchell Robinson for not fouling him. Keep your distance. He's tall and lanky. He can easily get a call out of you. Just keep your arm up. Try to be as honest as possible. He does that. Wemby misses the mid-range shot when Mitch Johnson could have just called up a better play, or Wemby could just, I don't know. If you, like, Wemby, you talk so much in these interviews that you are the best in the world, that we've never seen anything like you before. I just don't understand how someone can. Why are you not taking over at the game? Did you not see what Brunson did yesterday? Why are you not calling your own shot? It's infuriating with him, I swear. However, that's about it for the parts of the video where I want to go over, the rundown of the games. Now I really want to get into Karl-Anthony Towns. I want to give you your props. Karl-Anthony Towns has had a interesting career. Everybody knows Cat has been told his entire career, self-acclaimed as well, that he is one of the greatest big man shooters of all time. I am a subscriber to that belief as well. And I just remember the talks about Cat, how, I know Kenny Beecham said this in his video. He said, 7 years ago, the NBA did a poll, and they said, if you could have one player on your team right now, who would you take? Who would they pick? Big Purr. Because the thought of someone like Karl-Anthony Towns is massive. And Cat is been disrespecting his career, mostly by, well, really everyone, including me. I've had my moments where I made fun of Big Purr. He's too soft. He's too weak. He's zesty. All these things about him. And I just really want to apologize to Karl-Anthony Towns. I'm sorry, Cat, that I've ever called you soft. I've ever called you weak. I've ever called you zesty, bro. I'm sorry that I've ever made fun of you, ever did anything of the sort. You are genuinely a phenomenal basketball player. From getting stopped and embarrassed by DeMarcus Cousins in that hilarious picture, to now outperforming and outplaying who people consider the best player in the world. Not only on offense, but on defense. Mr. Soft, Mr. Zesty is dominating Victor Wembanyama on offense and defense for 2 games straight in the NBA Finals. I pray Cat gets this ring. I feel like he deserves it, man. Cat is genuinely special. He's one of one. The shot selections he's had. This game alone, Cat. Your scoring, keeping the Knicks up. Knicks were down by double digits in the second quarter, I believe, or third. Oh, no, second quarter. And Cat is just holding it on his own. Brunson after he had 8. Brunson had the most inefficient 8 points of all time. He was like 2 of 7 in the first quarter. Cat was giving them the lead. Cat was the reason they didn't get blown out and lose this game. Cat playmaking, scoring, shooting the ball, getting to the line, 3-pointers, mid-ranges. He's being guarded by Victor Wembanyama. People think he's the greatest defender of all time. Cat is handling him when they need him the most. Cat has been phenomenal. Cat has been the best player in this finals by it's not close. Jalen Brunson had a great fourth quarter last game. It's not close. Cat, for me, is Finals MVP so far. Absolutely brilliant. I love what I'm seeing from Cat this playoffs, man. It's beautiful to see. I love seeing this kind of development from a great player, a great person, a great personality. I pray that you get this Finals MVP, and I pray you get that ring, man. I saw after the game he was praying, bro, to the Lord after it, because it was stressful, bro. That if Wemby made that shot, it would have been 1-1, and at that point, Spurs can take the game at home. Spurs can beat them in Madison Square Garden. Spurs are insanely talented, the second best team in the league right now, man. Shout out to Karl Anthony Towns, bro. He's been special in this playoff series specifically. Cat in this game, verbatim to the camera, told the Spurs and especially Victor Wembanyama, "You can't fuck with me." And I agree. Cat, you moving like this, no one can. My Finals MVP, bro. End this shit in 4, please. Now, I would like to pivot the positivity to the negativity. So another game goes by and Wemby is terrible. I know if you just looked at the stats, you would say, oh man, this was a great game for Wemby. We talking about close game. Hey, if that shot goes in, this would have been a generation game. And if you say that to me, I feel like you didn't watch this game. Wemby, again, in the first half, just looked terrible. Wemby in the first half had 7 points on 4 field goal attempts. I really do not know why Wemby has not been aggressive this series. A big reason is Karl Anthony Towns legitimately. I'm not just saying he's defending Wemby very well because I don't like Wemby. Cat is legitimately putting body weight and mass on him and not allowing him to get past him as easy as Chet's bitch ass was. And to me, it seems as though no one is talking about this. Wemby has had 2 back-to-back stinkers at home against the Knicks. As great as Cat has been playing, I just gave him his flowers. I know that. As great as he's playing, this isn't Hakeem Olajuwon. This isn't Shaq. This isn't, hell, even Rudy Gobert, sure. Like, this is Cat. Salute to what Cat's doing in the series, but Wemby should, on paper, destroy him. Like, Wemby should be killing him more than he killed. How he embarrassed Chet the entire series, that should be what he's doing to Cat, but worse. So, my gripe with Wemby isn't really with him. Even though he's been terrible in these last 2 games, and I really think he's very overrated, which doesn't mean he's bad. I still think he's a top 2 player. I think he's the second best player in the world. But this little mentality he has on the court recently of being timid, what I mean by that is him being aggressive is taking a 3. He is rarely ever putting his head down and trying to drive past or into somebody unless he has a free lane. If there's someone in front of him that's like Cat size, Mitch Robinson size, or even OG Anunoby size this game when he guarded him for like 2 seconds, he's not doing anything. And it's baffling to me because he is legitimately 7'8", fast as hell for his height, and should be easily able to get to the basket, especially when he's on Mitchell Robinson. Mitchell Robinson, he should be able to blow by him. Maybe Cat's pretty fast, so maybe not. But Mitchell Robinson, he should be killing that matchup every time. What I'm trying to say is, I believe Wemby is the most babied, breastfed, spoiled player we've seen since LeBron. I mean, besides Game 4 and Game 1, where Wemby had the historic Game 1 performance, in Game 4 he had a dominant performance as well. In both of those games, Chet nor Hartenstein are his main defenders. Caruso saw more of him because Mark Daigneault's a jackass. Like, I just don't... This playoff run has been one of the easiest first playoff runs you could have if you are the prototype of Victor Wembanyama. And when he has these bad games, I don't see anybody taking away his best in the world card at all. As a matter of fact, I hear these excuses such as, oh man, the coaching is so bad. His other teammates aren't helping him out. I mean, Wemby's not getting plays drawn up for him, so what can he do? Listen to what y'all are saying. These excuses are for players who are not in the caliber of best in the world. Have we ever said any of that about Shea? No. Have we ever said any of that about Jokic? No. We ever said about Giannis, about Luka. The thing with those 4, they will always produce, no matter what the circumstance is, in their own ways. Wemby in this playoff series, there's several instances in games where he just isn't doing anything, and I'm tired of people just calling him the best in the world still, and he's not acting like it. I'll use Shea for example. Shea did not have a great series against the Spurs. That is a true fact. The second Shea has a bad game, he just won the MVP the same day. Shea gets outperformed by Wemby. Now he's never been better than Wemby. Now he's never been the MVP. Now he just doesn't deserve anything. But meanwhile, the second game, Shea outperformed Wemby by a large margin, and Wemby still somehow is the best in the world. That doesn't make sense. So Shea can get taxed for having a bad performance while the other has a great performance. But you reverse the roles and Wemby stays the same? That just doesn't make sense. Mind you, Wemby didn't have the MVP. So Shea should have really had the boost of, well, he's the MVP. He just won the MVP. He's had a better season. I'm baffled. I don't understand how he is favored this much. Like, I understand why people like him, but this is too much. Like, y'all are giving him these passes just for what? He's not the best player in the world. He hasn't shown he's the best player in the world. He's showing who he is right now in the finals, and he's about to get swept. And I guarantee you people are still going to have to blame the coach, blame the other players, blame how they can't get him the ball. I'm sorry. If you were the best player in the world and you cannot get the ball to yourself or create, you're not the best in the world. Everybody else who isn't called the best in the world the past 3 years can do all of those things. Giannis can do all those things. Shea can definitely do all those things. He just won a ring last year and 2 MVPs back-to-back. We know he can. Jokic has damn near 20 MVPs in a ring. Giannis also has a ring. I forgot about him. Luka ain't won shit, but he always gonna get his numbers up. Luka ain't never gonna have a bad game. Well, it's against the Thunder. But Luka is not gonna have a bad game. And it's just Wemby is just allowing people to be around him and not do anything. It's infuriating how people will just allow him to coast and not be aggressive, and they blame other people. That's lazy, it's inconsistent, and it's disgusting. If you keep coddling him, he's not going to learn from this. Y'all have to be more mature about this. I understand he's your favorite player. I get that. I understand that. But y'all got to call this out. He's been terrible in these last 2 games, and no one is saying anything about it. People are content with how he is playing. Why? But that's my thoughts on Wemby in these last 2 games. Not saying he's not a great player. I'm saying he's second best player in the world, but this is too much. Y'all are doing too much. Y'all are putting him on too high of a pedestal. Y'all are having him as, like, genuinely, the way people talk about him, he's the greatest player we've seen since, like, Braun came in the league. He has not shown that at all in this playoff, except for 1 game where he was guarded by a literal 6'6" wing the entire game. Because the coach is a jackass. Slow down. Slow down. Wemby in his 3rd year is already the second best player in the league. Imagine him next year. Next year, be afraid. But now y'all have to calm down. He's not who y'all think you are yet. He will be soon. But right now he's not. He's getting exposed in the finals, and people are just not saying anything about it because he's their favorite player. It's disgusting, and y'all have to stop that. Spurs just lost 2 home games, and they should have won Game 2. That was a game you desperately needed. Game 3 in Madison Square Garden, in Game 4. Again, Spurs can do it. Do I think they will? Hell no. I think this shit's over. And that's crazy. I had the Knicks getting swept, and now they are about to punish and destroy the Spurs in 4. So that little historical playoff team shit. Oh, that's real. That's real. If they sweep the Spurs, man, oh man. That's the end of the video, guys. Hope you guys have a blessed night, blessed day, blessed evening. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. Thank you to the new subscribers. Thank you to all the likes and the views going up. That's always lovely to see. Hope you guys have a blessed day. Don't forget to pray tonight or in the morning. And with that being said, this has been Dr. Natrell, and you can schedule your next appointment at the front desk.